Good afternoon, YouTube. Today I'm here to talk about pants, surplus pants that you can buy that have been produced by the U.S. military, and whether I like them and whether I don't like them. First off, we have the BDU pants, right? BDUs are in M81 Woodland. They were adopted by the United States Army and Air Force in 1981, and all branches of the armed service used these throughout the 80s and 90s. Terrific color. People love M81. Starts out dark, fades a little bit, gets a little bit lighter. Very blendy color overall. This was developed after EDR or EDL in Vietnam, right? This is just kind of what solidified and what we ended up choosing. The pattern's fantastic. As far as the pants, these are the hot weather variant. The only difference I've noticed being a thinner top of the pocket, and the material's a little bit thinner, but not much than your normal BDUs. You see a ton of variants in colors in these because they are produced so long and by so many different companies. But generally you're getting the same shapes and generally the same colors. You can find these between $5 and $30-ish in any Army surplus store, right? You can find these at flea markets. You can find them like in your grandpa's garage. They're everywhere. They're terrific for anybody who wants to look not like somebody who is part of the modern U.S. military. So if you play paintball, airsoft, if you're in a militia and you want everyone to look the same, this is a great pattern to use. It goes good with green stuff. If you have a lot of green equipment, it's gonna look cool and blendy with these. It's gonna look very stylish, right? It's a solid pant. It's made of kind of a ripstop material, usually an 80% cotton, 20% nylon blend. A lot of it is not drip drop safe, so if you get lit on fire, you will burn and it will drip into your skin, but that's just kind of what happens when you wear $5 pants. They're terrific for hiking, camping, any outdoor stuff. You've got pockets back here with the overlap. You have the cargo pockets, as you would expect from any military uniform. These ones, the hot weather variant, happen to have this little stitch up here. So you reach in, but I've had other OCP pants that didn't have this and had a larger flap. You have a little reinforcement on the knees, which the military likes to do. You never know when you're gonna be crawling around. And then little drawstrings down here by the legs. You can tighten those up if you want bugs to not be able to crawl down there, and you can loosen them up if you want to be able to breathe better in a hot environment. Overall, terrific pair of pants, especially for the price, right? These been around for a long time, and you know what you're getting, just a solid pair of work pants. This is the ABU pattern, right? Airman Battle Uniform. That's cool sounding, right? This was made for the Air Force throughout the 2000s. We adopted these officially in 2007 and ran them into the 2010s. Very cool idea, very, very poor execution. So the ABU is supposed to be Vietnam style tiger stripe. I'm sure you can see that, but it happens to be digitized. And it happens to be digitized with blue. In terms of a military uniform, this might be one of the worst, in my opinion, right? I'm just a guy, but this blends kind of into nothing. It blends really well on flight lines, and it blends in really well with like rubble and other random bullshit like that. But as a civilian purchasable surplus, I think it actually shines, and it might be one of the top tier surplus buys, all right? Everyone's overlooking it, but what you can do is dye these with a little bit of brown RIT dye and actually turn into a super usable color. The material is a good deal thicker than your BDUs, which is cool, right? They do not rip super easily. They're made of this similar ripstop material to the BDUs. They're just made thicker, which in the summer can be rough, especially if you're wearing these with the blouse, with a vest, with a helmet, right? That sucks. But if you're watching this, you're probably just a guy who goes camping. And if you're a guy who goes camping, these are a terrific summer and winter work pant, right? They're built strong. I would say as strong as, maybe not as strong as Dickies jeans, but probably Carhartt-y almost. You have the same pockets as you have on the BDUs. So you got thin strap here, 2 buttons sewn at the front. Decent amount of room in there with a little pocket, a little extra pocket built into the pocket. Same back pocket, put your wallet in there with buttons so your wallet stays secure, right? Overall, super sturdy pair of pants. Reinforced knees, and they added these little pockets down here. Pretty cool. It's got a little pen holder. Hold your pen, hold your notebook. Civil Air Patrol, I'm pretty sure still uses these. They use these for a long time. You have more pen holders. You can hold 3 pens down here. Fantastic. I would maybe not recommend these for like a militia or something. But if you're like an airsofter and you're trying to look like some guy who just walked out of the global war on terror, these were issued for a while. These were featured in the film Iron Man 1 at the beginning of the movie. Security forces, very cool. They're guarding Tony Stark, the main character. He becomes Iron Man. So these have been in a couple movies. They're a pretty cool looking pattern. They're just not super blendy, but if you're willing to dye them, right, with any kind of RIT dye, they actually turn out pretty good. I'll do a video in the future about that. But I think that they're very sturdy. Around this time, the Army had UCP, right, Universal Pattern Camouflage. It's about the same. It dyes well. It doesn't blend into much. I don't have a pair of pants to show you, but cut-wise, they're ACU, just like OCP pants. But I think these are cool. They're a cool little piece of history. And overall, solid pair of pants if you can find them for 10 or, you know, 5 or 10 bucks. Finally, we have OCPs, right? These are what I wear every day at work. Occupational pattern camouflage. It looks a lot like multicam. It's just a hair different. Scorpion OCP, right? Fantastic uniform pattern, in my opinion, right? We've got great big cargo pockets. These happen to be the lightweights, but you can also get what some people refer to as the winter weights, but they're really just the original ACU cut. So if you call them winter weights, you're wrong. They're not for the winter. They're for everywhere. These are just specifically for summer. Disregard, it's just something I hear all the time and it pisses me off. They're not winter weights. They're normal weights, right? When I got them first issued, it was the only OCP that existed. The hot weathers are fantastic though, right? You have a ton of room. You just have 2 buttons that open up into a huge cargo pocket, one on each side. I usually like to leave the front one open and the back one closed. That way I can reach in there and stuff doesn't really fall out the back. I always got a lighter. This one says liberty and justice for all. Keep silly lighters on you, because if you keep blue ones and red ones, people are going to steal them. But nobody steals my vampire teeth one that says bite me, right? Anyway, we got little pockets down here. Super handy. Keep your weapon cards in there. Keep a notebook in there. You never know what you might need on your person. Take a knee. Take some notes, put it back in. Fantastic, right? On the back, you got these pockets here. Super handy. You have 2-inch belt loops. Don't know why it took the US military so long to figure out that 2-inch belt loops are fantastic, so you can put big old belt in there. But, you know, they got it squared away now with the lightweights. Super. You have reinforced knees, reinforced crotch, reinforced ass. And these fade at a different rate, so it's really funny. You'll see people with almost white OCPs, and you'll still have dark knee pads, crotch pad, and buttocks. Pretty funny. Super solid uniform. I would say the least durable out of all the uniforms I've talked about, but they're so breathable, and they're just handy. They're easily the best blendy uniform, right? I've worn these in West Texas multiple times. You blend in insanely well. Right, if you lay down in the desert, in the mountains, in the jungle, in the forest, you go away, right? In Alaska, they work good. In Georgia, they work good. All across North America. Everywhere I've been in North America, New York, they work great. I'm sure that the mountains of any other continent, they would work just as well as they do down on the Texas border, right? So overall, super uniform. The only downside is you are going to look like you are representing the military or at least a federal agency, right? That's a lot of people's problem with these, and they're not cheap, right? I would say $20 for a decent pair would be a very good price. I think the commissary or clothing issue charges like $60 a pair. So if you're finding one for 20 to 30 bucks at an Army surplus store that some guy's already stained and pissed, it's tough to spend 30 bucks on something that then just kind of makes you look like a Fed, right? Like if you wear these for your militia, everyone's gonna say, oh, these guys with guns and helmets have OCPs on. They must think they're in the military, right? And you're gonna look like a goober. Airsoft, I guess they're good, right? If you're playing airsoft and you wanna be the good guys, this is the camo that the good guys wear, right? It's just kind of expensive. Same thing for paintball. I would hate to stain a $30 pair of pants when I could spend $5 on BDUs. But, you know, maybe you have a family member in the military and you can get a pair of these. Army and Air Force both use them, so does Space Force. Terrific uniform. They're starting to circulate, especially the old style. I think the Army adopted them 2014, 2015, and then we've had them since about 2020. So there's a lot of pairs of these out there, and they're starting to get pretty common. Overall, my favorite camel pattern, but I guess I'm probably a little bit biased. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this gave you a little bit of insight into what kind of tactical pants you are gonna get. And I enjoyed making it, right? Thanks for watching. Subscribe, don't subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, leave a dislike, interact with my video so that YouTube will show it to more people. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a good one.